Hey guys, Ike here from IkesOutdoors.com. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Apple Edge Economy Press. This press is designed for guys like me. Yeah, I do work in a shop and do some work for a local guy, but I do a lot of tinkering at home and a lot of stuff in my shop, setting up the test bows that we do, setting up other people's bows for them, and that's really what this is designed for. This press is not designed for the steady flow that you get at a shop where you may do a bow from the 80s and then you may do a bow from 2011, and it's not really set up to handle the type of volume that a shop's going to do and the difference in the bows that a shop's going to do from setup to setup. It's very, very good. I've found just for a couple bows, you know, that you can quickly make a few adjustments here and there. So we're going to show you some of the features of this press, and we're going to show you some of the bows that we've pressed with this. I've been amazed at some of the bows that we've pressed with this. We actually pressed a Horton Vision crossbow, which is one of the ones, instead of the conventional crossbow where the limbs come back, the limbs on this go forward. And the string was in a bind and the guy needed it pressed. This is the only thing I could think of. And we had to remove the posts here. And of course we had the tip compressions on here. And slid everything in. We were able to press this crossbow with it. So that absolutely amazed me. So we're going to cover a few features of this product here and show you how to set up on a few different bows and some of the bows we have pressed with this. This has the limb tip and conventional compression. You can see I've got the limb tip on this side and I've got the conventional bars here, and we're going to press two different bows with this on film today for you guys. This also has adjustable limb pocket posts for long bows and shorter bows. Now this is only used with the conventional compression. This is not used for the limb tip, but it is adjustable. It's got wing nuts on top and bottom, or on the back and bottom, and those slide in and out. So that's a nice feature there as well. This is all steel and this is powder coated. This does carry a limited lifetime warranty, so check with Apple on that and they can give you full details of that. This press is older bows, preloaded limbs, center pivots. This thing, we've pressed a Bear Attack with it. We pressed a PSE of some kind. I pressed an Eclipse. I think the PSE was an Axe 6. We're going to press an Invasion here today, and I'm also going to press a Black Bear from, probably from the 80s. So this will do just about any kind of bow. I've not found a bow yet that I cannot do with this press. It has a chain adjustment on this side, so you can adjust this by just taking up a few links. It also has two different cables, a long one and a short one. So changing them out is really easy to do. It also has fine tooth adjustment on each side. Now what this is when you get your bow in here, you'll snug this up. You can get everything nice and tight and add a little bit of pressure to it. All you got to do is come to this side and you can turn this big, nice nut. It's kind of like a modified wing nut on this, and that'll pull your chain or your cable in tight and really press this thing in there. Without pressing it, you really snug everything up and make it to where you can just do a few pumps on your jack and you'll press the bow. Okay, some of the other things, other small features, all these adjustability, everything that's adjustable on it has wing nuts on it. You can see the wing nuts on the bottom here are kind of small. The wing nuts on these, where they adjust, are nice and big, so you can really grip a hold of those and really crank those down nice and tight. And they got them on the back and they got them on the bottom. And there's some welding done on this, and you guys know who've seen my videos in the past, I'm a critic of weld. I'm a welder, and I'm pretty critical on welds, and I can see some of the welds here. Me personally, I'd like to see them a little bit bigger, and there's some here that's got a little bit of cold roll in it, you know, and there's just a few tacks here. I'd like to see that welded all the way around. But I am very, very critical about welds on steel stuff because I'm a welder. On your jack here, it's mounted up. Everything here, I had to put this all together, but it bolts to get on here nice and solid. Your jack has two different handles. You got one here. This is just the handle to locks together, and this will tighten your jack up. Then you can flip this up here and start using your jack. It also has, I've never seen another press with a handle like this. This handle is shaped like a question mark, and this one, you slip it right in there, and then when you want to jack, say you've got a bow this up higher and you want to jack down low, it'll do that right there. So you can actually reach from this side into here and do that. So some of the center pivot or some of the bows that you're going to press with the fingertip compressions, they'll actually be a lot up higher, and they may be in your way to try to work this handle here. So this question mark handle, shape handle, is an excellent idea, and it really makes it convenient to press some of these bows with the fingertip compression. So we're going to swap this thing over to our standard compression. To swap this out, pull a pin, pull those out, put our standard pin right in there, and drop our locking pin right back in there. So first thing we're going to do here is we're going to press this really old bow. I got two completely different bows here. This is the evolution of archery. I got my old Black Bear that I dug out of the basement, and this is going to be the first one we're going to press. And you can see this is a relic, definitely. We're going to show you really quickly the invasions as well, so you can see the evolution of archery in the past 20-25 years, how far things have come. So we're going to show you real quick how to press these, and we're going to show you the pictures of the other bows that we've pressed. I've got my old Black Bear in here, and this is eventually going to be a bow fishing bow, or it's just going to sit in the basement and rot, either one. But you can see how far out this press has to go. But it has a ton of adjustment to it. The posts are out pretty far. This is out. We got a lot of chain. I got my long cable in there, and it just the amount of adjustment to this is amazing, you know. And I've been using it for a month now, and it took me 5 minutes to set this up to get it completely ready to go. Now, like I said, we've got our chain adjustment here. We've got our fine tooth adjustment here on the end. And one of the nice things about that, like we've got the bow in here, and it's pretty loose. You can see I've got a little bit of slack in my chain. All I got to do is come to this side, spin it a little bit, take some of that slack out, and it's nice and tightened up. Another nice thing I like is they send a couple real heavy-duty rubber bands with it. You just hook them to the back side, bring them over and hook them there, and that's going to hold your bow into place. So really nice, well thought out features of this product as well. So, and to press it, we've got it up nice and tight. There's also a bolt right here in top, just a little one you want to tighten down with an Allen wrench. That keeps your arms up in place once you get this kind of set and ready to go, and keeps them from really flopping around. So I'm going to show you here. We've got it all set up. All of our wing nuts are tight. Everything's in place and ready to go. Okay, so we're ready now to start pressing this bow. You can see there's just a few bumps of the jack, and it is completely pressed and ready to go. Our string's slack. We can take that off, change the string out, we can separate it out, and put a peep sight in there, do whatever we need to do. Also breaking these bows down, I've broke one bow down with this, and it's pretty easy to do with all the fine adjustment as well. So you just relax it, start letting those fine tooth out, and it'll really let your limbs fall out. So I've not found anything yet that I cannot do with this, from doing simple work to doing more complicated stuff like changing limbs or breaking a bow down completely. Now it's relaxed, the bow's ready to come out of there. All we got to do to get the bow out is start working some of our fine tooth or fine adjustment out of it. Go to both sides and take a little bit of slack. You can see we're just putting a little bit of slack in our chain here, and you can see the bow starting to relax and get loose. Take our rubber bands off, and just like that, the bow is out, and we're ready to switch over to our next one. Now for the next one, we're going to be doing the invasion. We're going to switch over to our fingertip compression, and we're going to make a lot of modifications in here to this press to press this. These fingers here, I'm just going to slide them all the way in because they're not going to be used, and we're going to swap these out for this, and we'll get it all set up for the invasion next. Okay, we've got our switch over made, and I switched over to the shorter cable here. Got to switch over to our fingers. Now one of the things you'll see on these fingers is your inside finger is going to be locked into position, but your outer finger, just simply have to loosen that wing nut and lock that into place. Now I've got this pretty close to being positioned for this invasion, so we're just going to slide this in here, and I'm going to show you a few key points to remember when it comes to these things. You want to match the angle of the limbs as close as possible. So you can see there my angle of my fingers is actually kind of laid back. You can see it matches my limbs, and when I start to press, it's going to bring that right in. and it's going to touch those limbs. You can see I've got a little bit of a gap over here on this side. I'm going to take that out. I've got plenty of adjustment here. I've left this long for just this reason. I'm going to take this out. Actually, that's going to change the angle. I'm going to have to swap this down right here. And to do that, you can actually just let the bow rest either down on these pegs, or mine's resting in there pretty comfortably like that. So I've got the cable tight on the top, so I'm not worried about it falling or losing. You can see there it now matches the angle of my limbs a little bit better. And what I'm trying to do is keep the bow as centered as possible, keep things as even as possible. You can see my limbs, my arms are a little bit off, but I'm not real worried about that because the angle of my fingers are pretty good matching up with the bow. But I've got the bow as low as I could possibly get it, and I've got it as centered as I possibly can. You can see my rest here is pretty well lined up with my jack there in the center. So that's a couple key things to kind of keep in mind. So we got the bow up here, and we're going to do a little bit of fine-tune adjustment here now. You can see there it's bringing those fingers right in. And we're going to make sure, yeah, my spacing on my fingers is good. So got that there. I'm going to do a little bit of adjustment on this side now. Tighten that up just a little bit. And now, this is the nice thing about this fine-tune adjustment. I've got the bow tight, you know, in there, not pressed, but it's tight enough that I don't have to stand here and hold it. I'm now hands-free. And you can see what I meant earlier about having to work with some of these bows. With this handle, you have to get in here and get in here like this. And, you know, that's not too bad, but it's a little bit inconvenient. So we're going to tighten that down. This is where we're going to use our question mark handle. Slide that right in there. I'm going to slip back here. And in a normal position, I'd be on this side working, but just so I can show you the bow being pressed, I've moved back here. You can see the FLX on this bow is beginning to relax. String's beginning to get loose. And just like that, we've got a nice even compression going here. Our string is loose. So compresses this bow quickly, easily. I've got maybe 5 to 8 minutes in setting this thing, adjusting the press out, and that was just about it. So pretty quick to swap over. And if you're like most guys, you're gonna have you know, you're gonna, like I own an Invasion, I own a New Breed Eclipse, and a couple other bows but they're all this type of bow that have the preloaded limbs on them or the parallel limbs on them. So swapping from my Invasion even to the longer axle to axle Eclipse is pretty simple. I've simply got to move these in and out. And then when if I had to swap over to one of the older style bows, then it might take me a few minutes to really swap things out and make some changes. But for the most part, you know, doing just the bows that I own, 5 minutes of swapping things out and making a few adjustments, and I'm ready to go. So I'm really impressed with this this press overall. Like I said, I've not been able to find a bow that I cannot do. The fact that this press did the Horton Vision crossbow just absolutely floored me, because I couldn't work on that crossbow without this press, and it made this press, that was actually in the shop situation. So it's a good press for guys who are doing stuff on the weekends, doing stuff for your buddies. It's an excellent press for as far as affordability. This press is $330, $499. So I've got other presses that are upwards of $1,000, and if someone was to come and ask me to press a Bear Attack or a PSE Axe 6 or something with those really preloaded limbs, I've got to use this press. This is the press I'm going to use, because it does the best job on all of these kind of funkier bows with the center pivot or the preloaded limbs. So I've got a lot more expensive presses available to me, and this is the press that is the most versatile of all of them, and about $700 cheaper than some of the others out there. So be sure to check this out. We'll put Apple's website here. They have a ton of other products that'll help you guys if you're going to be doing your own work or need shop tools. excellent products made by Apple, and this press is hands down one of the best presses I've ever used, and I've used a ton of them. So excellent. The money, you cannot beat the price on this press for what it will do. So be sure to check this out at Apple Archery. This is one that I'm going to be using here at the house definitely for a long time. So check it out, Apple Archery. We'll put their website right here. For more product reviews, how-to videos, and hunting videos, be sure to check out our website. That's IkesOutdoors.com. Appreciate you guys watching.